Greetings, Grand Lake. Rusty Fleming, and I'm the publisher of Grand Lake News Online, and this is a Lakeside Chat with. And this week, I'm not sure we're chatting with Jim Brown, the individual, or corporate comfort keepers, Jim.
Well, I'm Vice President of Franchise Development for Comfort Keepers.
Right.
And I guess the reason we're talking today is because we had a group from franchisees here from Comfort Keepers from 8 different states, and spent 3 days here at Grand Lake with me.
Well, it was interesting to see that unfold, and they took part in several activities around the lake, and as you might expect, they visited some of the finer restaurants and those kind of facilities, but you even brought GRDA into the picture, right?
Well, we did. We had the great pleasure of being able to have lunch up at the Eco Center in the conference room up there,
right.
And one of the GRDA tour guides came in and gave us a conversation and showed a video about the dam, and it was fantastic because they were overlooking the dam, and none of these folks, they were from 8 different states, and there were a total of 13 of them. They'd never been to Oklahoma before, or at least to this part of the state, and they were amazed.
So what my plan is, I have a little movie. I want to show you a little 10-minute movie about the history of the dam, and then I've got a few things to say, and then I'll open up for general questions, and I'll see if I can answer. So we'll play the Stump the Tour Guide game. This is Grand Lake over the Cherokees. The O being for over. You know, so much of this land belonged to the Cherokee Nation back in the 1890s and 1900s when we were thinking about this lake. Cemeteries had to be moved, towns had to even be relocated. So as an homage to that fact, they had a contest in the newspaper, and the best name they came up with was Grand Lake over the Cherokees, as an homage to our Native American friends. It is the world's largest multiple arch dam. It's comprised of 51 arches.
Was still known as Indian Territory. It took 50 more years and a group of men known as the Rainbow Chasers to bring funding to his vision.
Now, if you're wondering why this guy, Jim Brown, would have brought these people from 8 different states to be right here, it's because we're sitting on his patio. And this is one of the greatest views on Grand Lake, and many say it's the highest view on Grand Lake. So how'd you convince your friends from Comfort Keepers to come to a place where it's going to be 104 in August?
Well,
or late July?
I promised them good weather.
Well, you did a dang good job.
I kept my promise. We had gorgeous weather. We had rain one day, but that didn't slow us down. We had dinner at Arrowhead one night, and we went up to Shangri-La by boat one night, and they stayed at Pine Lodge, which was wonderful.
How'd that work out? How'd they like the cabin environment at Pine Lodge?
It couldn't have been better. You know, normally this group meet in a corporate hotel somewhere with a meeting room that's real sterile and whatever, and it turned out so nicely.
And so
yes, Rusty, we're very fortunate having Jim Brown and his group of folks in here, but all over the United States, give them a chance to show them what Grand Lake is all about. We do several corporate retreats. We have one going on right now. We can sleep up to about 108 people. We have 2 large homes. We have 18 units plus 2 large homes. We can sleep up to about 108 people.
So what do you think they'll take away from it?
A wonderful memory of Grand Lake, for sure.
Your friend from California seemed the most surprised.
He was. He was. When we scheduled the meeting, he was from Long Beach, and he was the one that was going, "Oh, I don't know. It's going to be hot there. We're going to have mosquitoes and whatever."
Tell him to stay off the internet. He's reading too much.
That's true.
You know,
but he loved it. He really did. He loved his cabin at Pine Lodge, and the meeting room was just wonderful. The facilities were great. Art and June were wonderful the way they hosted us too.
So, boat dealers would call this a 20 group. In your industry, what do you refer to it as, and what did you get done?
Sure. Well, these are performance groups. There's a dozen of them in our franchise. I've been with this group. We formed it about 5 years ago, a little over 5 years ago. And they meet 3 times a year face-to-face. Basically, they function as a board of directors for each other. They share all of their numbers. They share their challenges. They share their successes, and they leave there each time with a group of SMART goals that have been set by the group for them, and then they're accountable to that group, and they report on their progress.
Well, you must have dropped something down Jim Brown's chimney for this deal.
rain that we've had this week, but it's really lush, and it was a total surprise. You've got your own little jewel right here in the middle of the country.
We do call it the Crown.
Beautiful, lovely area, relaxing.
And you're from?
Cumming, Georgia.
Cummings, Georgia. All right. Anybody else?
I'm from Elkhart, Indiana. This is my first time in Oklahoma, and I'm certainly looking forward to coming back.
We can't guarantee these temperatures every year. You understand that? Wisconsin.
Wisconsin is a lovely state.
What about Grand Lake?
Grand Lake, this is the first time I've been to this area, and it is a piece of heaven. It really is beautiful.
Well, we're glad you're here.
It's a beautiful place to be, beautiful place to visit. I'm from Florida, and there's not too many hills there, but the water is great and the scenery.
This has been a Lakeside Chat, and this week with Jim Brown, telling us about his meeting with Comfort Keepers this past week, and we'll see you next week.